Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori and I wanted to do a quick video on a session I just had with a beautiful woman. And I wanted to share about this session because it's pretty fascinating and it's her story is very unique. So for those of you that don't know what I do, I take people on journeys to meet their star families and also their Lemurian families. And I do it through the etheric body. So we travel in our etheric bodies and we move into spaces and dimensional portals like Telos, which is a Lemurian city inside Mount Shasta. And it's all on a dimensional shift, right? So it's all in different dimensions that we access and move into. And so she came in to experience and connect with her system of light that she came down from and kind of understand her story and who she is, why is she here, that kind of thing. So what we found out, which is pretty amazing and pretty exciting, is that this is her very first time in a physical body, and she came in from a system of light that was called Takaran or something like that. It's a system that I'd never heard of, a system that she had never heard of. It's spelled a little bit differently. I think it has like an ST or an SHT, Takaran or something like that. They're a very, very, very old consciousness, old energetic light system. So we call them star systems, but they're not actually stars. They're consciousnesses. They're frequencies of light. And depending upon the frequency in which their light spins, that produces the dimension that they're in and what the light looks like. So it was really an iridescent, like 4-pillar iridescent beings that showed up for us. And when we first arrived into this portal, into this dimension to experience them, there were 4 of them that showed up. And they started asking her questions as opposed to her receiving information from them. And typically when I do these sessions, these beings start providing information to the humans. And this what happened this time was the star beings, these beautiful beings that were here for her, were asking her, what's it like? What's it like being in a body? What's it like eating the food? What's it like squeezing yourself into that form? And I was like a little bit taken aback because I didn't understand why they were asking her questions. And so I asked these beings, I said, why are you asking her questions? And they said, well, because we want to know what her experience has been like. What is it like to be in that very, very dense space, in that very, very dense field? And then what we started to unravel and understand is that there are systems of light, beings of light, consciousnesses that have been assisting humanity and the earth for many hundreds of years in order to prepare the earth and humanity to move into these higher frequencies and dimensions that we're moving into. And it's not something that we can see. It's done behind the scenes, so to speak. And so these beings have been working on the planet and assisting the planet in shifting for hundreds of years. And what they've been doing is they've been working with the chemical warfare that has been happening on the planet. They've been working with the atomic bombs, all those things that were happening, a long time ago. They were dismantling that. And they do this on an energetic level, so it's not something that we can understand or even see. The chemtrails that are happening, the cancers that are happening, the pollution that's happening, all these things that is happening and that we're watching and we're thinking is getting worse and worse and worse. They've been working on this for a very long time on an energetic level behind the scenes, preparing the earth and shifting the earth, so that all these things that humans have been doing and destroying the earth hasn't had the impact that it should have had, that somehow the earth has still been able to increase its light frequency, even with all of these quote unquote destructive things happening, right? There's a reason for that, because these beings of light have been assisting her and dismantling what we seem to think, what we believe is destroying the earth. So the earth is actually not being destroyed. It's being healed, but what we see with our third dimensional eyes seems like that the earth is being destroyed, which it's not. So she, as a light being, not a human, as a light being, she has assisted the earth plane in preparing itself to increase its vibration by dismantling the atomic bombs, dismantling all the other warfare that's been going on, healing the destruction that's been happening on the planet, the pollution, all that stuff that's been happening, she's been assisting with. And so she decided that she wanted to actually experience and be a part of this next shift, which is really the moment that it's actually happening. Like right now, it's actually happening. The shift is actually occurring, right? Consciousness is really shifting and evolving. And so she came down into physical form. And she created a really beautiful life. She has no desire for a purpose necessarily, like, oh, I want to be doing something, I should be doing something. It's more of, I'm remembering what I'm doing down here, and why I'm down here, and that I have support, and that I'm not alone. And so she brought herself in. She has this beautiful life she's created. And now she's opening back up to this space and this reality of like, oh, there's so much more around me. There's so much more energetic frequencies that I can tap into. There's so much more that I can start to do with my higher self. There's so much more that I can do with these beings that I'm now aware of, that are now in my field of consciousness. I can start to talk to them. I can start to ask them questions. I can start to invite them to bring in miracles for me, right? They kept saying to her, ask and we will deliver, ask and we will deliver. And now that she is aware that they are in her field, in her consciousness, right? Now that she's aware of it, she can begin to engage. And they were saying to her, listen, you're not going to necessarily see us. You're not going to necessarily hear us, and you might not even feel us. But we are telling you right now that we are here and that we will provide everything that you ask as long as you trust, surrender, and allow the timing to unfold in the way that it will unfold. They kept telling her it's divine timing. It's not your timing. So if you ask for something, they said, you have to allow the energetics to come together. So depending upon what you're asking, your energetic field has to be open to receiving whatever it is you're asking. And that could take some time. That could take some playing around in the energetics to create it and design it for you and to bring it into your awareness, into your field, allowing your thoughts and beliefs to kind of allow this to move in. So they were telling her all of this. And when we came out of the session, she was like, you know, what it feels like is like, I'm here to explore what third dimension is. I'm here to understand this form and all of this. And I will go back to them. And it's almost like I'm a scientist and I'm playing around with all of these energetic spaces and frequencies down here in the third dimension. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to explain everything to them and teach them and share with them. Because what they were also giving to us was that these beings, this consciousness, this light consciousness has been around for we can't even conceptualize time. Time in these spaces just don't exist. You know, there's no future, there's no past. It's all happening right now. But it's hard to understand that there are consciousnesses and star beings, light frequencies that have been around longer than we know. And there's consciousnesses that have been around longer than other consciousnesses, like the Pleiadians and the Sirians and the Arcturians. Everything's split from source at a certain quote unquote time, right? And depending upon when that consciousness split is how long it's been in consciousness, so to speak. So this system has been around for a very long time in terms of its consciousness, and it likes to participate and assist other consciousnesses that may be in lower frequencies and dimensions. And so they go around and they didn't get into the detail, nor did I want to really get into the detail, but they were talking about other planets, which are very dense. Planets are very dense, assisting other planets, and and other consciousnesses, which is just light systems. So they've done a lot of work for a very long time. And so here she is in a physical form as this light being, right? That's done all this work for the planet to get to the planet to where it is right now, off planet, behind the scenes. And now she's in form, participating and watching it. They were showing her, it's kind of like you're on a couch with your feet and you're just feet kicked back up, or you're laying there and you're eating popcorn and you're just watching the show. Like, holy cow, this is what it's like to be a third dimensional being, and really enjoying it. And so now they're like, okay, tap into your higher self, tap into the frequencies, tap into the energies, tap into the magic that's here for you, tap into the ability to shift your realities. All these beautiful things that are starting to be presented to the human, they want her to access now, right? Because that's her gift, is being on the planet in a human body and shifting into these frequencies, which she's done for the planet in order for the planet to get here. She did a lot of work. And so now they're like, okay, reap the benefits. What do you want in your reality? What do you want right now? What do you want to receive? Why don't you get into more flow? Tap into your higher self a little bit more. Like, they were just showing her all these things that she had access to now. So I just thought this was so fascinating, because I've been told over and over again that there are so many systems of light that are working behind the scenes for humanity and the earth, and we can't see it. So all we see is what the news tells us, what people tell us, like, oh, there's this destruction and there's chaos and the earth is being raped and pillaged and pillaged the word, and all this horrible stuff is happening. And in one reality that is happening, and in a completely separate reality that we can't see with our third dimensional eyes, is that this is all being healed. It's being taken care of. It's healed. So the earth is healing and shifting. The earth has already healed and shifted. And it's had assistance from light from outside of its structure, its form. And we are living on this form, still in a lower frequency, in a third dimensional frequency, watching this destruction happening, not realizing that it's already been healed, that this destruction has nothing to do with where the earth is going or how the earth is going to get there, that this isn't going to stop the earth from continuing to move itself to these higher frequencies, which it is already there. So there's all these things happening at the exact same time. We are watching destruction. The earth is moving through destruction, while at the exact same time, the earth is already healed and in a different frequency, right? And so being aware of this, being aware of, just because you see chemtrails and just because everyone's telling you that these chemtrails are harming you and infecting your bodies and creating all these things, doesn't mean it's true. It can be true in your reality, or you can step into another reality that says, actually, what you're seeing up there is dissolved by light beings. It's dissolved. It doesn't have an impact on you. It's all in the reality that you want to hold. It's all in what you want to hold. We have the power to create our reality. We have the power and the ability through energy to create what comes into our field. We are that powerful. So anyways, these beings have been working on the planet for hundreds and hundreds of years. And she came down to participate, and it's amazing. And I wanted to share that with you. And again, the system of light that she heard and that I was tapping into was something about Takaran. And I think it has an S in the beginning of it, like Shatar with a SH or I don't know, there's an S in it. They kept saying S. So I hope you enjoyed this story. I did. I thought it was fabulous. And I will come back to share more of these beautiful, amazing client stories. I typically keep them to myself, but I want to start sharing more of them because I think that it is fascinating, and it opens us up to all the different beings that are coming down right now into physical form, that it's not just light workers, it's not just star seeds, it's not just volunteers from Lemuria or Atlantis or whatever, right? There are so many unique beings that are walking the planet right now, participating on this. This is so much bigger than we understand. this play that's happening, this intense shift that's happening right now that you're participating in and that you're a part of. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for being here. If you know of anyone that would enjoy hearing this, please share this video. Maybe there's somebody that you know that this resonates with, like, oh, I think that might be what they're doing as well. Share it with them. And leave your comments below. I love to hear from all of you on how this sat with you. Thank you so much. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking my channel, for liking the video. And I will see you all soon.